Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel, the Artificial Trainer here. Today we're not going to go through a new model, but with all of the WAN based models that have come out recently, I thought it would be a good idea to talk about how to optimize workflows for your GPU. So we're going to talk about how to increase, decrease VRAM, also increase, decrease how long a generation takes to run, and hopefully that'll be helpful for all of you when you're trying out models like VACE, Fantasy Talking, Unit Animate, which add some extra VRAM on top of what's done with a normal WAN video generation. Or if you have struggled to get WAN video running on your local GPU because of VRAM constraints, maybe it'll help you get it running for the first time. So hit the subscribe button if you like this type of content. I have a lot more coming out with the pace that these models are coming out. It's keeping me really busy. Let's jump right into it. I just have a simple WAN video workflow here with the wrapper. The reason I'm using the wrapper is it gives you a lot more control over your VRAM. If you need some help on how to set one of these workflows up, I'm not going to go through actually setting the workflow up. You can check out the video in the description. It's kind of my intro to WAN video. We're going to start, it all kind of revolves around the WAN video model loader. The inputs into this are WAN video torch compile. So torch compile reduces the VRAM needed by 30% roughly, but it does require Triton. So on Linux, Triton is very easy to install. With the latest PyTorch version released, it comes with Triton that works with Linux out of the box, no problems. On Windows, there are some challenges to installing Triton, but there's recently been a Windows Triton package developed, which makes it much easier to install. And I'll link that in the GitHub below if it's helpful. Okay, the next thing is block swap. So block swap, essentially all of these models are made up of blocks, and the blocks can be swapped in and out of VRAM. So they go from VRAM to RAM and then back when they're actually needed for inferencing. So if we swap more blocks, we're able to save on VRAM because it's swapping those to RAM until they're needed. The only problem is because of that transfer between VRAM and RAM, it slows down our generation. So ideally, you want to swap just enough blocks to make it fit in your VRAM, but you don't want to swap too many blocks where you're underutilizing your VRAM. Okay, and then we have our LORAS selector. LORAS are relatively small, but they do increase the model size slightly. Some of them can be up to like 2 gigs, so that will affect your VRAM. There's also this VRAM management args that can be used. It actually, if you're really struggling to get this to fit in your VRAM, you can use this node instead. It's actually a little bit more efficient than block swap, but it slows the generation down more. Okay, so that's the inputs into the model loader node. For the model loader node itself, so the first thing we're going to talk about is the model. So let's break this down. You can see there's FP16 and FP8 versions of the WAN text to video model. The FP16 is higher quality, but it's about double the size of the FP8 model. So if you only have like 12 gigabytes of VRAM or something like that, you're definitely going to want to use the FP8 model and then swap as many blocks as you can, up to 40 blocks. The other thing is you can use the FP16 model and then use FP8 quantization. The only problem you're going to run into with that is it takes a little longer to quantize on the fly. So you should, if you're going to use FP8, I would just recommend using the FP8 model. And then for the load device, you want to choose offload device. That's going to use the least amount of VRAM. Using main device again makes the generation a little faster, but you'd probably need a very large GPU to keep these models on the main device. They're somewhere around 30 gigabytes. So, okay, and then attention mode. Sage attention doesn't help decrease VRAM at all. It just speeds up generation. So you can use SDPA if you struggle to get sage attention working. Okay, and then to offload the model, we can drag this into the WAN video text encode node. That also helps with VRAM, and it'll offload the text encoder and the model together. And then when we load our text encoder, it's very similar to the model where there are BF16 and FP8 versions. I believe there's also FP16 versions. The BF16 and FP16 versions are higher quality, but use more VRAM, and they can be quantized, or you can just download the FP8 model directly. If you need help getting those models, head over to the Intro to Wan video in the description below. That'll guide you to where all the models are kept and how to install them. Okay, and then the size of the generation plays a very large role in how much VRAM we're using. So something like a 1280 by 720 video is going to be very resource intensive. It's going to require a lot of VRAM, and also the number of frames that you use. The more frames you need, the more VRAM it's going to use, because it doesn't generate frames one by one or even 4 by 4 by 4, which is the latent size. It generates all of the frames at once because it needs that temporal consistency. So if you need to decrease the VRAM even more, if you really can't get it to fit, try doing a smaller width and height and a lower number of frames. Okay, and then the last thing we're able to tweak here is the VAE. So I'm using a BF16 VAE in this case, but there's also an FP32. So the FP32 is by far the best quality VAE for encoding and decoding your videos. But again, requires a decent amount of VRAM. If you need it, you can use a smaller VAE. And all of those are, again, in the download links in the Wan intro video. Okay, and then the last thing is you can turn this Wan video decode, enable tiling on and off. Having it on does introduce some seams into the video. They're very, very difficult to pick up, but if you know what you're looking for, you can definitely see them. You can turn this off if you have higher VRAM, but if you're running out of VRAM at the Wan video decode node, this is probably your problem. And then there's one more little trick here that you could try if you want longer generations, but you're running out of VRAM. So this context options essentially uses context window sliding like Animate Diff did. You can do something like generate 121 frames, but use a 41 frame context window, and that should help. You'll get some inconsistency at that context window, like at 41 frames and at 82 frames. But if you're using a driving video with something like VACE, it should help with that consistency, and you'll be able to get longer generations. So there's a bit of a trade-off. Other than with Frame Pack, which has its own issues, we haven't really figured out how to do really long videos without a ton of VRAM. And most of these models start looping after about 5 seconds without this context options turned on. Okay, so that is it for this video. I hope it's helpful. Hopefully you learned something. If you have trouble optimizing Wan video, have trouble getting it to run on low VRAM, head to the Discord. I also have a Patreon tier now with its own dedicated Discord channel. So if you want priority help or coaching, head over to Patreon, subscribe. Let me know that you subscribed, and I'll add you to that channel. You'll get your questions answered first before anyone else in the Discord. Follow my other socials in the description below, and I'll talk to you in the next video.